Service Point is a modern point of sale that will replace the legacy POS system across all order-taking destinations, like front counter, drive-thru, and even your off-site sales locations like ADPs and food trucks. Service Point simplifies order taking by providing a cleaner, more modern interface where it is easier to ring up menu items, modify items, and add special instructions. You can expect updated hardware and software with your Service Point install. Let's dive right in and take an order on our new POS. I'll use a team member or manager pin to open a shift on this drawer. Now I'll select the venue. A venue is an approved operator-led selling operation. You will see our primary restaurant here, but other venues could include ADPs or food trucks. Be sure to select the correct venue as pricing, tax, and menu availability are tied to the venue selection. Finally, I'll select my template. Typically, your choices will be dine-in carryout and drive-thru. As you can see, there's a more modern, inviting look and feel, but the POS should still feel familiar. Like the legacy POS, we can navigate the menu using the categories on the left. We have breakfast, lunch and dinner, sides, drinks, condiments, desserts, local items, catering, and merchandise. Let's begin our order by selecting Dine-In. Our guest would like a Chick-fil-A Deluxe meal with American cheese. You can see the options available in the first column to make major menu item selections, like choosing between American, Colby Jack, Pepper Jack, or no cheese. Everything that comes on the item shows up here under Includes, and anything that can be added or modified shows up here under Extras. This is great for a new team member who may not be familiar with our menu, since they can easily see everything that is available to add or remove from a menu item, and it looks a lot like how our guests navigate the menu in the app. Let's demo how to use the Includes and Extras column. In this case, our guest wants no tomato, add extra pickle, so I'll tap tomato under Includes to remove it, and tap pickles under Extras to add it to the sandwich. You can see these changes reflected on the virtual receipt to the right. Just like in the legacy POS, the side item will default to medium waffle potato fries. To change the side, I could either tap side at the top or click on the item in the virtual receipt. I'm going to change the side to mac and cheese. Now, let's add the guest drink. They would like a vanilla iced coffee. Easy as that, we've got our Chick-fil-A Deluxe meal entered. Let's look at some of the item level options that are available. We'll click on the three-dot menu to the right of the item, in this case the Chick-fil-A Deluxe meal, to see some available options. Add notes will allow you to add item-specific notes. Some directions that would have been in local items in the legacy POS, like cut in half, can now be found as a preset note here. You can also type in your own custom note. So in this case, the guest asked for only 1 pump of vanilla syrup in their iced coffee. Meal Breakout splits up the items from a meal to separate entree, side, and drink. So let's say our guest tells us that they have a reward for the Chick-fil-A Deluxe sandwich, but we've already rung up the meal. So we'd want to tap Meal Breakout to separate each item so that the reward for the sandwich will go through. We'll add 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches to our order and then look at the rest of the item level option. Split Quantity will split identical menu items into groups of smaller quantities. Right now I have 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, but let's say our guest told me they'd like one of them to have no pickles. I can use Split Quantity to split one of my 3 sandwiches out so I can change the 3rd Chick-fil-A sandwich to no pickles. Promo Free is available on the item level. Or you can use Promo Free Custom to select individual modifiers like lettuce on a sandwich to Promo Free. You'll also see the options to remove Promo Free or remove an item here. But you can always swipe left to remove an item from the virtual receipt. Let's look at some of the icons below the virtual receipt. You can click the plus icon to begin a new order, or just start by ringing up the menu items. Since we have an active order, you can see that we can choose to either cancel or store the active order before starting a new order. In this case, I'll tap Go Back to return to my active order. In addition to item level notes available through the three-dot menu next to any item, you can also add notes for the entire order by clicking the Notes icon at the bottom of the virtual receipt. The red flag button is not available in the new Service Point POS. Instead, add notes on an individual item or on the entire order to share information about the order. Just like the legacy POS, you have open dollar and open % options for discounts. Here's where you can store an order. We'll tap Cancel to go back to our active order without storing. Here's where you can access the order queue. Let's take a look. You will now have one order queue that captures deferred orders and mobile orders together. You can navigate through the sub-tabs to get to different order types in the queue. The first section here is active. These are orders that are actively being entered on the POS. If something happens and the order isn't completed, it can be recalled on any other device by going to this tab. The second here is stored, so go here to recall stored orders. They show in order of first stored to last stored, but you can drag and drop them to change the order. We also have mobile, third party, in transit, submitted, which includes orders that are already tendered, and catering. Within each of these, you can filter by relevant order destinations, such as dine-in, carry-out, or drive-thru. Finally, the More icon here replaces manager functions from the legacy POS. Let's gather our guest information so we can finish up this order. So we're going to tap on Add Guest Info in the top right corner here. We can enter the guest name on the left, or if they scan their Chick-fil-A One app at any time during the order, that will already be filled out for you. Notice the more modern look and feel for table marker colors and patterns that more closely matches our table marker style. If the order is a carryout order, you'll also have all of your available options for clothing descriptors. For drive-thru orders, you'll see updated vehicle descriptors that include car brand logos. Again, one of those modern updates that should make things a little easier for our newer team members. A few more notes as we wrap up our tour of the new POS. Tap the Pay button to tender the order. You'll notice the payment screen is very similar to the legacy POS. For this order, I'm going to tap Exact Dollar and then Submit the order. The new Service Point POS is designed to focus solely on taking sales. Other functions that were a part of the legacy POS, such as Time Punch, are moving out of Service Point, but will be easily accessible through other applications. As you can see, the new Service Point POS has a more modern look and feel with some updates that will feel more intuitive. While most menu items will be in a similar location and the new POS shouldn't feel too different, making any changes can throw team members off, especially when a lot of their speed and accuracy is developed through muscle memory. That's why it's important to create a training plan for your restaurant to give your team members a chance to flex this skill before your restaurant's install. Let's close by talking a little bit about the durability and flexibility of the new Service Point POS. Your restaurant will receive Android tablets that significantly outperform the iPad in durability and battery life testing, meaning these tablets should perform better in drive-thru conditions, last longer between charges, and be more resilient to accidental drops. We've built the Service Point software to be more resilient than the existing system by operating offline as much as possible. For example, if an iPad running the legacy POS crashes during face-to-face while a team member is taking an order, If payment was attached, you'd lose that, and it would be difficult to be sure it was voided appropriately. The new Service Point POS was designed to better support blips in Wi-Fi connectivity. So if the tablet crashes randomly, the team member could go to another tablet and recall the order right there. We hope you're excited about the changes coming to your restaurant's POS. You will have access to a Service Point training app, so start thinking of how you might train your team and give them practice with the new Service Point POS before your restaurant's Commerce Point install.